Okay, so this video is a first because I'm not reviewing a pedal that tries to be an all-in-one solution. This is the Unsound Circuitry Hyper Pozzum version 2, and it's a fuzz. Unsound Circuitry caught my eye a few years back with the release of their first pedal, Shiver. The company is a small one-man operation from Finland, making products with ugly, aggressive and loud sounds. I like that. The Hyper Pozzum I'm holding is the version 2.0 of the pedal. The version 2 adds a few things into the previous model, including a very nice blend circuit, which is the reason I'm making this review. They did send me this pedal for review, so this video is sponsored by Unsound Circuitry. If you're interested in products of sonic annihilation, they're the company for you, but the Hyper Pozzum version 2 can also do so much more. As always, being sponsored has no effect on how I view this product or the tones I get out of it. The Hyper Pozzum is based on the classic Univox Super Fuzz circuit, and it's a raw, thick fuzz tone that amazingly doesn't get too pushed or too compressed, even when used with the bass. In addition to the classic volume and fuzz controls on the face, the Hyper Pozzum version 2 also features a blend control and 3 very wide-ranged EQ controls. The first of these is the scoop, which controls the passive notch filter, essentially acting as a mid-scoop. Being able to control the intensity of the scoop is a really nice feature, and you can also set it to flat to get all the mids. The smaller shift control right next to it controls the center of the scoop. Do I need to tell you that this makes the EQ controls really versatile? I guess I just told you that. After these we get into the sweep control, which is an active tone control ranging all the way from extreme mid boost into extreme bass and treble boost. Right away we can see a lot of interesting possibilities because these controls work very similarly, and they can also be made to work against each other. Using the scoop, shift and sweep controls, you can really fine-tune the tone of the Hyper Pozzum, allowing you to emphasize just the things you want it to. I especially like how using the shift control fundamentally changes the personality of the pedal, which you can then emphasize using the sweep control. But that's not all that this pedal has to offer. Inside there's actually a few more controls that you can use to further dial in your tone. I ranted about this in my Dark Glass Infinity review, but often if your distorted tone is rather dark, the bass clank coming in via the dry blend can be really distracting. The Hyper Pozzum gives you an option to tame this and perhaps do a bit of multiband distortion by having a separate adjustable low-pass filter for the clean signal. Also added is a dirty boost for the clean signal if you're like me and have a really strong distaste for fully clean blends on dirt pedals. Let's start by setting the low pass filter to somewhere around the low mid so we can cut out the clank and still remain the solid bass bottom. The low pass filter is not super steep, so there's still a healthy tone on the clean blend, albeit rather dark. This way we can also use the clean blend to control the low end on the signal, instead of it just being a clean blend. I'm using the Ibanez PD7 to shape the sound a bit before hitting the Hyper Pozzum, just for better articulation, and this is something I do with all of my overdrives these days. We then run into the Picatrix, which is a B3K clone, to simulate running this into an amp with light crunch. Then we are going into my audio interface and into my computer, where we have the PandaSound Store Holy Cab Bass IR waiting for us. We're dialing the fuzz back a bit on this example, which also rounds it up a bit. Let's go! So that was great. Next, let's see what kind of tones we can get by utilizing the dirty boost on the clean blend. Personally, I've never been too much of a fan for fully clean blends on dirt pedals because I find that the clean tone easily sticks out the wrong way, but adding a light overdrive on top of that should fix the issue. I've dialed the low pass filter to around halfway up to give us some harmonics that we can then boost into overdrive. And for this next example, I'm going to leave the blend quite high on the clean side and only use the fuzz side as a subtle dirt on the background. That's about what I got out of the pedal this time, but rest assured I'll be using this a lot more in the future. If you liked what you heard, I suggest you follow Unsound Circuitry on their socials. I'll put a link into the description and somewhere around here also. The Hyper Pozzum version 2 is coming up for sale soon and is priced very reasonably at around 169 euros. I have never really gotten along with fuzzes for bass. I've tried a few that people seem to love, but never found a use for those in my search for tones. But I love the Hyper Pozzum. I've had so much fun dialing in tones right from the beginning, and I was really impressed by the interplay between the scoop and the sweep controls. The saturation here has a really nice grit and stays together amazingly well. I thought I was done trying to find the right fuzz for my use, since I'd had so little luck with that. But the Hyper Pozzum has me drunk on dialing thick tones and writing addictive riffs. Overall, I'm going to give this pedal a full 10 out of 10 banana points. It solved my problem of finding a right fuzz, and it did it amazingly well. It's a really well-built pedal with a versatile EQ that allows it to fit multiple situations and uses. The built-in dry blend with a low-pass filter and a dirty boost makes the cleaner side blend in seamlessly with the higher gain fuzz side, which also makes this pedal a great option for some lower gain tones. The only thing I didn't like on the fuzz side is that it gets a bit spongy on lower gain settings, but the boosted up blend more than makes up for those tones. Thank you so much for watching. I really like talking about bass gear and interesting gear in general. If you're like me, I think you'll be satisfied with my future videos as well, so you might as well subscribe. That's over here. If you're still here, I've also got an interesting video that I think you will like. You can find it here. Take care, and I'll see you later.